Welcome to News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Crowis. Here now the news for December 17, 2019. Due to anticipated demand, Magic Kingdom, Disney's Hollywood Studios, and Disney's Animal Kingdom have extended some park hours and shifted extra Magic hours in the coming weeks. At the Magic Kingdom on December 15th, 20th, and January 18th, the park will now open at 8 a.m. On December 21st, the park will open at 7 a.m. On January 1st, park hours have been extended until 11 p.m. On January 5th, 17th, and 19th through the 21st, park hours have been extended to 9 p.m. And on January 11th and 25th, park hours have been extended until 10 p.m. All of Hollywood Studios' hour changes are occurring in the morning. On December 22nd through the 25th and January 1st through the 4th, the park will now open at 7 a.m. On December 26th through the 31st, the park will open at 6. At Animal Kingdom, park hours have been extended to 8 a.m. on Christmas Day, and extra Magic hours have moved from to 7 to 8 a.m. On New Year's Eve, the park will be open at 7 a.m., their first New Year's Eve where they're open until midnight, and on January 18th, park hours have been extended until 9 p.m. The Muppets Present Great Moments in American History is coming back later this month, albeit for a limited time. The fan-favorite show in Liberty Square at the Magic Kingdom will perform daily from December 23rd through December 31st. On December 23rd and 24th and the 26th through the 31st, the show will be performed 9 times between 9:05 and 4:20 p.m. On Christmas Day, the show will be performed 10 times starting at 8:35 a.m. with the last show at 3:20. Guests visiting Magic Kingdom yesterday were surprised by 2 ride vehicles and a photo op for the TRON Lightcycle Run roller coaster coming to the park in 2021. Located outside of the Tomorrowland Light and Power Company, this advertisement for the upcoming attraction is sure to intrigue many a guest. What was most surprising about the ride showcase was that we found out that there is a sponsor, Enterprise Rent-A-Car. While the version at Shanghai Disneyland is sponsored by Chevrolet, many attractions recently built at Walt Disney World do not have sponsors. There's also a diagram next to the ride vehicles that depicts how guests will board the vehicles at the station when the ride opens. Based on how complicated it is, it's a good thing they're getting American guests ready now. While there are ropes around the ride vehicles right now, the loading procedure sign makes it seem that guests may be allowed to try out the ride vehicles in the near future. Work on the refurbishment of the Transportation and Ticket Center has been steadily reaching towards the finish line. Lights in the security screening area have been added, tables are visible, and fans have been hung. The biggest addition is the sign above each security lane. The signs are the first element of the new security screening area that match the existing theme of the TTC, that famous purple. It's staying, folks. The text of the signs is interchangeable, allowing lanes to be switched depending on demand. They have these, of course, already at Hollywood Studios and Epcot in their new security screening areas. Expanded out from the structure, fresh concrete has been poured and more light posts have been added. Work on the new planters underneath the monorail lines has also progressed, with the cement surrounding them starting to fill in. Farther down, we can see the beginning of the new Tram turnaround point beginning to form. Yesterday, the Art of Disney at Epcot's Future World closed its doors and moved into the American Adventure. The sign of the old Art of Disney location is now covered up by a tarp, and the windows darkened from guest view. And World Showcase Heritage Manor has been transformed into the all-new Art of Disney location. This is the first new location for that store since the mid to late 1990s. The new store opens at 11 a.m. with the rest of World Showcase. It was full of cast members and Imagineers still wiping off sawdust and taking measurements when we checked it out during its grand opening. But the entire shop has been modified with new displays and shelving units to hold all the various artwork. The cast members here are still wearing, of course, American Adventure costumes instead of the unique Art of Disney ones. Glass display cases have been added with either a rustic wooden look or a crisp, patriotic design. And besides the cash registers, there's a unique touch to this location, a corkboard that features the American Adventure of the Disney Animation Company. This board shows the timeline progression that Walt faced with his own animation adventure. With photographs, original concept art, and brief moments in history, this tribute to Walt Disney and his legacy is a nice touch to the new location. Epcot's longest-running annual festival, the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival, is revving up to be a showstopper with a Garden Rocks concert series talent lineup like never before. New to the Garden Rocks concert series on the American Gardens Theater stage this year is Daughtry, Don McLean, Peebo Bryson, Mark Willis, Ambrosia, Thelma Houston, the Allman Betts Band, and Big Shot. You can check out the full calendar at WDWNT.com. The brand new Remy topiary will be unveiled as the centerpiece of the Ratatouille Garden at the France Pavilion, where Remy's Ratatouille Adventure will open next summer. The The floral Remy will be surrounded by a colorful garden of veggies that comprise ingredients of a ratatouille recipe. It wouldn't be an Epcot festival without food, of course. The event will feature 17 outdoor kitchens. Of course, the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival runs from March 4th through who knows when. No, I'm joking. June 1st. It's long enough, though, right? Back in October, the new security screening area and tram loop opened at Epcot. There was still construction around a good part of the entrance, though. The tram loop is now completely open, finally, to guests and offers a side for dropping off guests and a separate side for picking them up. If you're standing at the exit of the park and looking towards the parking lot, the left side of the loop is for drop-off only. The right side of the loop, now open, and is for picking up guests to return to the parking lot. The right side, again, for loading only. There's a long row of silver railings installed on the newly opened side. Guests exiting the park and looking for a ride back to their car must use the right side with the railings to queue. Side of the tram loop that has been open for a couple months now is strictly a drop-off. There are no railings on the drop-off side, plenty of space for people to exit. There is, of course, still construction on the opposite side of the tram pickup area, as they're far from done with this entrance area enhancement project. Despite Disney shifting resort guest exclusive extra magic hours at Hollywood Studios into the evening, guest relations cast members of the park informed us that Rise of the Resistance will not be available to guests partaking in the offering. The rest of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge will be open, though. It would seem that Disney has shifted the morning extra magic hours away to avoid confusion with the already hectic rope drop procedures every day, where guests must obtain a boarding pass to ride Rise of the Resistance. Boarding passes for the popular attraction are often gone between 7 and 8 a.m., closer to 7 usually, and guests at the first extra magic hours morning after Rise opened were given little to no advantage other than already being in the park when the boarding groups were made available on the app. If you haven't had any luck getting a boarding group for the popular Rise of the Resistance attraction, a new set of backup options have been released at the park. New flyers are handed out now to guests advertising backup boarding groups, which you can join on your My Disney Experience app. Once initial boarding group distribution is at capacity, guests can join a backup boarding group that will only be called if all of the initial boarding groups have boarded and there is capacity for more riders in the evening time. As always, capacity is limited, and given the backup boarding groups may not even open up, an early arrival of no later than 6 or 6:30 a.m. is highly recommended if you want to make sure you ride the attraction. Bathrooms have been installed in the middle of the Flight of Passage queue in Pandora, the World of Avatar. I can't believe they did this. These bathrooms are a welcome addition in time for the busy holiday season, where wait times for Flight of Passage will exceed multiple hours. The 2 unisex bathrooms were installed mid-queue for those needing to take care of business while in the middle of the multi-hour queue. When you approach the doors, cast members are placed outside to ask anyone if they would like to stop and use the restroom. Then the entire group is removed from the line and stand in a holding area, and whoever needs to may use the restroom. Later, the entire group is allowed back in the line. The weathering on the doors fits the theming of the queue, that's nice, giving them a lived-in feel. The restroom is very clean. There's more than enough space for an individual, a small family, or a person in a wheelchair. The maximum occupancy for the restroom is 3 individuals. This is kind of crazy and kind of cool. I think it's well documented that they had problems where some guests didn't care that there wasn't a restroom and would just go in places. So this is a good choice, I think. Nathan Pollitt of Boynton Beach was arrested on Sunday for possessing a firearm at the security checkpoint of Disney's Animal Kingdom. According to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, Pollitt claims he forgot to remove the 9mm pistol from his backpack after taking it out of his car the night before. Pollitt was stopped at the security checkpoint at the Animal Kingdom at 9:30 a.m. Sunday morning after attempting to go through the no-bag line. This led deputies to believe he did not intend to declare the weapon, which is found to contain 8 target practice rounds. The man was arrested for carrying a concealed weapon, which the affidavit says he does not have a permit for. Pollitt was also issued a trespass warning for all of Walt Disney World. Of course, as you know, Disney's Riviera Resort opened yesterday. In case you're wondering, that's where we are now. We're in our tower studio. Thank you. We're in our tower studio room. I forget the name of this thing. We're in the tower studio room, which we've been staying in since yesterday. And, of course, right here on our YouTube channel, we have a video of this room as well as a tour of the one-bedroom as well. So you can check those out. We will have a full review of the hotel coming in the next few days. You'll want to stay tuned for that. In the meantime, though, you can already take a look at La Boutique, Disney's Riviera Resort's elegant gift shop. The new products seamlessly match the resort's stylish European theme. You can take a full tour of the store and all of the merchandise offerings for Disney's Riviera Resort on our website at wdwnt.com. At the newly opened resort last night, a family awoke to a loud bang after a Murphy bed became detached from the wall and fell on top of a family member who was sleeping in it. This happened. The guest was not moving at the time the bed collapsed on top of her. According to the Post, it took 2 people to lift up the bed so their mother could roll out from under. Fortunately, she received only minor bumps and scrapes rather than anything serious. Emergency services were not necessary. Front desk cast members told the family that they would attempt to fix it later yesterday. That's interesting enough. But also, our Riviera coverage, there's lots more to talk about. We already have a breakfast review up from Primo Piatto, the counter service restaurant. There is a lunch and dinner review, both of those coming. We're going to have a review of all of the amazing pastries at Le Petit Café. We have so much more for you. And also, we already have a review of the Topolino's Terrace character breakfast, which is one of the best in all of Walt Disney World. And by the time you're seeing this, we might have a review of dinner at Topolino's Terrace, which might have been the opposite. So you might want to check all those out if you're going to be thinking about visiting or staying at the Riviera here. Autopia has reopened after a long refurbishment at Disneyland Paris, boasting a new color scheme, energy-efficient lighting, and an enhanced entrance experience that tells the story of Discoveryland. From the Disney Parks blog, quote, "The newly refurbished Autopia zoomed into life this weekend at Disneyland Paris with a new look and feel and a few surprises. The vehicles have been beautifully repainted with unique color schemes on each car, and the track has been redone. Even the coils reaching toward the sky can be seen in a new metallic color. In fact, keep your eye on the rooftop and you might just catch a light show which tells the story of Discoveryland. Behind the scenes, the attraction is also sporting 1,500 new LED lights in place of projectors, which reduces the electric power use from 450 kilowatts to 42. On top of a major energy saving, this lighting system now changes colors before your very eyes. You can check out the video of artistic director Tracy Eck sharing more about her team's work on this update on our site. For more information on these stories and more, head on over to wdwnt.com. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video, subscribe to WDW News Today on YouTube for more great content, and click the bell for notifications. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corrillis saying, enjoy the rest of your today, and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Now I have to go do a kid scavenger hunt of the art in this hotel. Very busy.